What's going on, everybody? C4 here, and today we're talking about the completion of the 2018 NFL draft class, which means it's time to throw out draft grades. So, last year we did it by division. This year we're just going to do it by conference. You know, I don't necessarily need all that back full of video content. Hell, you're probably going to get both these in the same day. So today's video, we're going to be looking at every single team in the AFC. We're going to be throwing out a draft grade. We're going to be giving you their best pick and or picks in some cases, and their worst pick and or picks in some cases. And I'm certain that the debate in the comment section below is going to be civil, calm, and you're all going to agree with me 100%. So we're going to start in the AFC with the AFC East. And we're going to be looking first and foremost at the New England Patriots, who I gave a grade of a C+. Their best pick for me was Duke Dawson. Their worst picks were both picks in the first round. Now, both those players are good players. Isaiah Wynn's a good player. Sonny Michel's a good player. I just looking at them, how they fit on the New England Patriots, I don't get it. Isaiah Wynn can play tackle, but it's best served at guard, and guard is not a drastic position they need to look at improving for the Patriots. Sonny Michel is a really good running back, but running back's an area that they're probably fine at. They already have like 4 capable running backs. Sure, a guy like Michel could present a little bit of an upgrade, but when you look at the Patriots in the Super Bowl, their defense was in shambles, and the fact that they pretty much ignored defense the most of the draft, but definitely in the first round with 2 first-round picks, was very, very surprising. So only a C+. Look at their undrafted free agents. They did get J.C. Jackson from Maryland. That was a good value there. Moving on to the Buffalo Bills. I'm giving the Bills a B. Very nice draft class here from the Buffalo Bills. Their best picks for me were Tremaine Edmonds and Harrison Phillips. Great value on Harrison Phillips later on. And Tremaine Edmonds just, was sitting there at 16. That's one of those guys that was projected pretty much in most mock drafts as a top 10 pick. One of the highest ceilings out of any player in this year's draft class. A great get for the Buffalo Bills. Worst pick for me was Josh Allen, just because Josh Rosen was on the board. And I really don't see a world where Josh Allen is better pick, a better value than Josh Rosen would have been. And hell, I've said countless times, I'm higher on Josh Allen than most, but you still got to go with Rosen in that scenario, I think. No real notable undrafted free agents so far for the Bills. Moving to the Miami Dolphins. I'm giving the Dolphins a B+. B+ for Miami. Look at that. Best picks, I like Minkah Fitzpatrick. First round pick. Good fit there. I like the combination that he's going to have with Rashad Jones. And I'm giving it a 2 Jerome Baker. I like what Jerome Baker is going to be able to bring to that linebacker core. Great athleticism. Worst pick for me wasn't really any bad ones. I'm just going to go with Durham Smythe just because for a guy that's purely going to be a blocking tight end, got him kind of high. I know he's a good yin-yang mismatch with Gesicki. Get the receiver and Gesicki the blocker there, but I feel like maybe if you're going for an all-out blocking tight end, you could have waited a little later. Being a little bit critical, but I had to make it so every team had hypothetically a worst pick. Undrafted free agent Mike McCray, linebacker from Michigan, looks like a good get. And then finishing up with the Jets, we're giving them a B. Best picture for me was Sam Darnold, obviously slipping at 3. Not many people thought he was going to make it past the Cleveland Browns. And I did like Perry Nickerson out of Tulane. I think he's a guy who brings a lot of speed to that defense and could get a lot of snaps as a rookie. Worst pick, again, not really any bad picks, but I guess I'll go with Nathan Shepard just because he's a little bit more of a project player, but getting him in the 3rd round. Maybe a little too rich, but that's still being hypercritical. I'm very proud of my Canadian brethren. I think he has a very high upside. But out of the limited picks the Jets had, if I had to say one that was kind of iffy, he might be it. Looking at undrafted free agents, I got Dimitri Flowers, who could be a nice little offensive weapon there. Fullback, tight end kind of combo from Oklahoma. So, in the AFC East, the Dolphins win so far with a B+. Moving to the AFC North, we're going to be jumping in with the Pittsburgh Steelers, who I gave an A-. Their best picks for me were Mason Rudolph and Jalen Samuels. Mason Rudolph is going to be able to sit and learn behind Ben Roethlisberger, and finally they got a guy that might be able to succeed him. I think Jalen Samuels at tight end, running back, fullback, hybrid role. You can get really, really creative with him on the offensive side of the ball. Worst pick for me is Terrell Edmonds in the first round. I think Edmonds, good size, great athleticism, still needs to refine his coverage ability. I just think a first round was a really big reach for him. Looking at their undrafted free agents, they got Ola Adenaye from Toledo, I believe. He was a guy that was projected maybe going the 6th round, 7th round, so good value there as an undrafted free agent. Moving to the Baltimore Ravens, I give the Ravens an A in the last Ozzie Newsome draft, one of the best GMs of the last 20 years. The best picks for me, I like the Lamar Jackson move at pick 32. especially considering what they get away for moving up with my Philadelphia Eagles. I think they kind of got one over on my Eagles there a little bit. And I did like them bringing in Anthony Everett, the cornerback from Alabama. I think it was slipping. I don't have the rounds here. I think it was like 3rd or 4th round. I think it was 4th round. That's really, really good value. He was a guy, some people had him as a 2nd round pick. Worst pick was Mark Andrews. I like Mark Andrews as a tight end. I'm higher on him than most, but the fact that you got Hayden Hurst in the 1st and then use one of your other big value picks on another tight end, I just think the valuation of the positions, I don't necessarily agree with that. So it's more so going another tight end than it is Mark Andrews, a prospect. No undrafted free agents really to talk about here for Baltimore so far, but still an A grade. Moving to the Cleveland Browns, I'm giving the Browns a B, a really nice B. I'm not going to lie, not a huge fan of what they did really after the 1st round. For the Cleveland Browns, their best pick for me, Baker Mayfield. I really like that. Even though it kind of clouds the situation up with Tyrod Taylor, what is his role? Because you don't really need a bridge quarterback with Baker Mayfield, but I like it. And Gennard Avery from Memphis. I think he's a really nice fit for a team that needs to add more linebacking talent. He could very well be a starter as a rookie. Worst picks is Antonio Callaway. 4th round, he should have went later. Talent's there, but he's an absolute nightmare out the field. If he's one of those guys, if they can sort him out, I can see him being a 1,000-yard receiver. It's just, I wouldn't gamble on. He's one of the dumbest players I've ever seen, and that's coming from a Gator fan. Worthy of a roster spot, worthy of an opportunity, absolutely. 4th round pick, though, I don't know. That's an expensive lottery ticket. And I didn't really like the Austin Corbett pick in the 2nd round. I thought Corbett was more of a 3rd, 4th round pick, and he's more of a guard than a tackle. And they really do need to find Joe Thomas's replacement there, and I don't think it will be Corbett. Good player. Don't think 2nd round. I think that was a little bit of a reach. But looking at undrafted free agents, they got Desmond Harrison, the tackle from West Georgia, one of the bigger projects on the offensive line, but a really, really high ceiling. He dominated the combine, one of the bigger names that fell to undrafted free agency. That's a great get there for the Browns. And moving on to the Cincinnati Bengals, I'm giving the Bengals an A. So two-way tie for best in the AFC North with the Ravens and the Bengals. For the Bengals, best picks I like Billy Price. They need to get better in the offensive line, and I did like them bringing in Malik Jefferson later on. Was he a 3rd round pick? That's tremendous value. Worst pick for me was Sam Hubbard, just because I don't know why they decide they need to go defensive end with Carlos Dunlap, Jordan Willis, Carl Lawson, Michael Johnson already there. It didn't make sense for me. But then use that kind of investment. They did bring in, for undrafted free agent, Quentin Flowers from USF. Some, maybe find a gimmicky way to use him right away. All right, moving to the AFC South. We're there with the Jacksonville Jaguars, who I give an A. Best pick for me. They had a really good draft. I think the best pick, if I had to pick one, was Ronnie Harrison. 3rd round in the box safety. Doesn't have a whole lot of value, and I guess in today's NFL, but he's a guy that had fringe 1st round talent, and the rich just kind of got richer there on the defensive side. Worst pick, there wasn't really any worst pick. I'm just going to go with Tanner Lee just because I feel like, for the bottom tier quarterbacks, like maybe Kurt Benkert, who went undrafted, would have been a better pick there. That's just nitpicking, though, in general. In terms of undrafted free agents, they got Alan Lazard, they got Quentin Meeks. They had a bunch of good guys there for the undrafted free agent class. Probably the best, I would say, in the AFC so far. Moving on to the Indianapolis Colts, I gave them a B+. Again, another team kind of like Cleveland that had a whole bunch of high picks. I felt they could have done a little bit better, but ultimately, best pick for me, Quentin Nelson's a home run. That's an excellent pick. I also really like the Deion Kane pick later on. I thought, even though Deion Kane was getting some 1st, 2nd round consideration, more so in the 2nd round, I thought that was a little bit too rich. Getting him when they did was like a 6th round. That is good value for a guy that has a lot of upside. Worst pick for me, Darius Leonard in the 2nd round. Twitter beef aside, I still feel like Darius Leonard was a 3rd, 4th round pick. He's an undersized linebacker that didn't test particularly well with great athleticism. So a little bit worried. Maybe, Donnell Pumphrey kind of territory. Looking at undrafted free agent, they brought in JT Barrett. I don't really know what he's going to do there, but they might be able to find a way. He's a good athlete. Moving to the Houston Texans, I'm giving them a B. It's always going to be tough for the Texans to grade out really well when they have so few picks. But best picks, Justin Reed and Martinez Rankin in the 3rd round. Those are great values in the 3rd round, especially Justin Reed, who some people thought could be a 1st round pick. Hell, I even had him to the Eagles in the 1st round of one of my mock drafts. Worst pick for me was Jordan Atkins. Very surprised that they were going to tight end because I need to replace CJ Fedorowicz. There was much bigger names still on the board. I'm pretty sure Ian Thomas from Indiana was there. Tyler Conklin, Central Michigan. Chris Herndon, Miami. But you go Atkins. That was really, really surprising there. For undrafted free agent, Jester Weah from Pitt. I believe it's Pitt. That's interesting. He's a good athlete. Moving to the Tennessee Titans, I'm giving them an A. Only had, 4 or 5 picks, something low like that. Best pick for me, Harold Landry in the 2nd round. That is absolute value. I had a mock to them in the 1st round. So the fact that I got him in the 2nd, that is just tremendous. Worst pick, no real nitpicks. I guess I'll just go with Darren Cruikshank because, he's more of an athlete than a finished product. But again, that's just being really critical. Looking at undrafted free agents, they get Akram Wadley from Iowa. Could be a nice guy that can, maybe find himself on to be the third running back there. So looking in the South, Jags and Titans tied with A. No one really had a bad draft here in the South, though. Moving finally to the AFC West, we're going to start with the Denver Broncos, who I gave a B+. Best pick of the day for me for Denver was their first round pick. Getting Bradley Chubb at 5, a guy that, could have went to the Giants, could have went to the Browns at 4. Sitting there at 5, getting Bradley Chubb, have Von Miller playing on the same side. That is going to be pretty damn tough to block up. Worst pick was Isaac Yadom from Boston College, 3rd round. I more so thought he was a 4th, 5th round type guy. Slight reach, but all in all, a very solid draft here for the Denver Broncos. As far as undrafted free agents, getting Jeff Holland from Auburn was a pretty good find there for them. Going to the Kansas City Chiefs. Oh, the Chiefs, the team I always rip on draft time. I did not like the Chiefs draft last year. Looked like I was pretty right on that one. Don't like it this year. I'm giving it a C. They didn't have a whole lot of ammunition to work with, but a lot of their picks were head-scratching. And people were actually talking to me on Twitter saying, Chief fans, that they don't know what they were doing with the draft. Best pick, however, was Armani Watts from Texas A&M. I think he's a great safety. Might be able to push Daniel Sorensen for the starting free safety gig. Worst pick was their first pick. In the 2nd round, Breeland Speaks. Thought that was an absolute reach. I think Speaks is more so 3rd, 4th round type guy. Being your first leadoff pick. Did not inspire a lot of confidence if you were a Chiefs fan. Look at undrafted free agents. They got in Byron Pringle, though, from K-State. One of the best deep threats last year in college football. I think that's a nice little low-key pickup there. Even though he's a little bit older, has a shaky past. It worked out well last time when they got a guy named Tyreek Hill. Moving on to the LA Chargers. I'm giving them an A. Best pick for me, best value pick. I'm throwing it out to Kaiser White. I ultimately believe he's going to be viewed as a linebacker there. He's going to be able to do a lot of stuff. In reality, he's not that much smaller than, Jatavis Brown. So I think he's going to fit in well there. Nice. Worst pick is Chenna Wosu, just because I think he's a 3-4 guy, a 3-4 outside linebacker, best suited. I don't know if he's going to be viewed as a 4-3 linebacker, defensive end. I'm not exactly sure. I just don't think he's a great scheme fit for the defense. So getting a little nitpicky because he does have some flashes when he was at USC. And I know I am lower on him than most, but yeah, where if you had to give a nugget, it would be that. Notable undrafted free agents, we got Tony Brown, great athlete from Alabama, good special teamer. And then finish it up here with the Oakland Raiders, first draft for John Gruden. I'm giving them a B-. Best pick for me was getting Mo Hurst when he did. Obviously, the heart condition had him falling off a lot of people's boards, but if he pans out, he's a first-round talent that they got in the 5th round, something real low. Great job there. Worst pick for me was Colton Miller in the 1st round. Tremaine Edmonds is there. You need a linebacker drastically. You pass on him to get a project tackle. Colton Miller's not a bad player. Fringe first-round talent at tackle. You had Tremaine Edmonds was there. That's the perfect pick. That's a home run pick if you're the Raiders, and they pass on that. I definitely would be upset about that still if I'm a Raider fan. And no real notable undrafted free agents for the Raiders so far. So there you go, guys. Those are my AFC draft grades. If you're a fan of either one of these teams, feel free to defend yourself. Defend your team if you agree or disagree with any of my picks in the comment section below. If it's your first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button, smash the like button if you enjoyed. Until next time, it's C4 saying peace out.